Good afternoon, Cleveland County. We're back with the third episode of Cleveland County Kitchen, and I'm here today with Ellen Ashe and her husband, and hopefully we can introduce him as well.
Okay.
And the product we're highlighting in the month of January is the egg. And what better place to be than with Ellen and her husband and all of almost 100 chickens.
Almost, yeah.
And they lay, I would think, like 100 eggs a day, approximately.
Well, it depends. Sometimes we have them, they molt at a different time. And when they molt, we don't get as many eggs. And right now, some of them are in the molting stage. And so our egg production, it's not as good as it is in the summertime.
Right.
But in the summertime, it's nothing unusual for us to get 2 to 3 dozen a day.
Oh, yes,
so
of course.
It's really good.
Of course. Well, can you explain to our viewers what molting is? This is an educational program, so.
Well, it's when they the hens want to, what we call rest, have a rest period. And they shed some of their feathers, and you know they get to looking really bad. I was looking to see, you can see this one, how some of their feathers are gone, but they're about to come out of the molt now. But it's more of a rest period for the hens.
Okay, and do they do that during different times of the year, or do they pretty much do it
Depends.
all at the same time?
Most of the times, ours are getting to where they're doing it about most of the times. Now they started, and it can last 2 to 3 months that they do when the egg production's down. But ours are hopefully coming out of molt.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, good.
I just don't want. I love to play with them and hold them, and I'm not going to have a mean chicken or rooster. I'm not. Now I can't kill them and eat them like some people do, and have chickens. They're my pets.
Well,
So-
I was going to ask you, what do you do when they stop laying altogether? Which I assume they would get too old to do that.
Right now, chickens can lay eggs up to 8 to 10 year old.
Oh.
But ours are not that old yet, so I don't know. I'll probably give them away. But we were going to sell some chickens. To tell you how particular we are about our chickens, we were going to sell some, and we had someone call, and he said that he wanted to asked how much they were, that he wanted to butcher them, and I said, well, they've already been sold. I could not sell them,
Well, they're
to
your
some.
pets,
They're my
too.
pets,
Sure
and
they
so
are.
if somebody wanted them for the eggs and to pet and love up on them, that's great.
Difference between eggs you buy in the store and eggs that come from something like
From our
this.
chicks.
Yes.
Yes, if you buy eggs in the grocery store, you know that the yolk is a bright yellow, light, very, very light colored yellow. But ours are orange and a dark gold, which means that they are free range and they are out. They're not kept pinned up, and so they're more nutritious. And you take happy chickens, make happy eggs, make good eggs.
That's a great way.
Yes.
They're real good with children. But they're just
And
Now, do
it's
they have
cotton.
wings?
Yes, they have wings.
but
They're
they can't fly.
they just don't fly.
They just everything we got here when we come down here we have to walk, they get on, you step on them.
They're just right under
sure.
your feet. They're just gentle chicks. They eat vegetables. They eat leftovers that we have at supper at night. Spaghetti's their favorite. They take those little noodles and run with it. That's their favorite. I give them some bread in the wintertime and cracked corn to help keep them warm. We do put screens around our coops here so they, protection from the winter. So
Well,
they're like our children.
well, I can see that.
Yes, they are.
Well, I think we could end with the statement that you said about
Happy chickens make happy eggs. Yes, it does.
Like back in the old days of the country stores throughout Cleveland County, there was usually a group of old men sitting around discussing all the issues of the day, political, what's going on in the country, what's going on in the community. With this program, is we sit around and we talk like those men around the old potbelly stove, and the viewers out there are just sort of observing us, you might say, as somebody that walked in the store, and yet maybe that we catch their attention about an issue or discussion we're having, and hopefully it makes them better informed and more aware of what's happening in the community.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Well, welcome back, Cleveland County, to Cleveland County Kitchen. We're in the studio right now with Nancy Abasiakong. She is the Cooperative Extension's Family and Consumer Science Advocate, which I believe is your title. And we are here today talking about the nutrient values of the egg and all the good things that you're supposed to do with an egg. Nancy, welcome.
Thank you, Deborah.
And let's talk about the egg.
Okay, well, eggs are certainly a nutritious food and a good choice, whether we're having them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or they make a great snack that can be prepared ahead, kept in the refrigerator. Very, very nutritious and a good choice all the way around.
Well, and let's talk about by nutrition. What do you mean by nutrition? I know there's protein in an egg, but I believe there are other nutrient values as well.
Yes, eggs have a high quality protein. They're very high quality protein and are considered one of the most nutritious foods. So when you're choosing an egg, you've already made a good choice right there. Eggs have lots of vitamins and minerals. They have vitamin A, vitamin D. All of the B vitamins are found in eggs, as are a number of other vitamins and minerals, the riboflavin, iron, and lots of other things.
Now, does cooking destroy any of those nutrient values, or are there special ways to be able to cook to save all the nutrients?
Right, no, cooking does not. As a matter of fact, you can only eat or consume eggs if they are cooked. So they have to be cooked in some fashion. Although there are some recipes, and traditionally things like eggnog or homemade ice cream and things like that, mayonnaise, use eggs. But with what we know now about the dangers of salmonella bacteria and salmonella food poisoning, the recommendation is that we only consume eggs either made with pasteurized egg products or cooked, if we cook the egg in some way. And of course that can be scrambled or fried, hard cooked instead of boiled, although we think of boiling eggs, but we don't want to boil them, but you want to bring the water to boiling and then turn off the range, move the pot, the water is actively boiling, and then let it sit for 12 to 15 minutes for a hard cooked egg.
Oh, well, that's good.
And that will be one of the things that we'll point out in our the fact sheet. And then of course you'll pour off that boiling water and chill them, and then they're ready to peel.
Okay.
So.
Well, storage, I know, is a very important thing. Of course, we buy eggs at the grocery store, and we're hoping that our Cleveland County citizens will buy eggs at the farmer's market. But you know, if you wanted to buy a lot, can you store them, and how can you store them safely?
Yes, buying them, when you're buying eggs, look to be sure that they are refrigerated, whether that's at the farmer's market, you know, there on the street, or it will be in our new pavilion, we hope in the next season. But they should come from an ice chest or a cooler of some type. And certainly at the grocery store, you want them in a refrigerated case. When you take them home, put them right in the refrigerator. And if you're going to make a lot of stops on your way home, or if it's summer and it's really hot, then bring along a cooler of some type to put your eggs and your other perishable items into for that trip home, especially if it's going to be, if you're delayed in any way. Keep the eggs in the original container and store them in the main part of the refrigerator, not on the door. because you
Oh.
want them to be in a cold part of the refrigerator. And of course, with the door constantly being opened and closed, that
Certainly.
temperature on the door is not that. And your refrigerator should be 35 to 40 degrees so that you know that, again, you've got the right cold environment.
Which is the kind of cold you'd want in your refrigerator
Anyway,
anyway, with
that's right.
what you have in there.
Right.
What about selecting the best eggs at the store or at the farmer's market?
Well, eggs are graded, and you'll want to buy grade A or double A eggs.
Okay.
And that will be marked on the carton at the grocery store. Also, check to be sure the eggs are clean and that they are not cracked. And of course, as you're transporting them, be careful that you don't crack them on your way home. So the eggs are fragile, and we have to, treat them with some caution.
Certainly, certainly. Let's talk about freezing eggs. I believe you mentioned that before the show started, and I find that fascinating. How would you go about freezing an egg to save it longer than perhaps just the shelf life?
Right, and the typical shelf life for eggs is 3 weeks or slightly more than 3 weeks. When it's stored with those proper conditions, that is. But if you're going to freeze eggs, you can either freeze the white, maybe you've had to separate some eggs for a recipe. You can freeze the whites separate, just mix them a little, or the yolk, again, mix it. And I will have information about that on the website.
Do you want to tell our viewers the website address again so that they could log on anytime they wanted to?
Yes, we hope you'll go to the website at your convenience, and that is clevelandcountykitchen.org is the website. So easy to remember, easy to find.
Well, thank you for watching Cleveland County, this nutritional part of the egg, which is what we're talking about today. And if you'll just stand by, we'll be in the kitchen and talking with a local chef and cooking up eggs.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Rome for the American Red Cross. Every time I look at my daughter, I'm reminded that my most important role is mom. When disaster strikes, the American Red Cross is going to be there to help, but there are simple steps that we can take now, like picking a meetup point and sharing contact phone numbers to help keep our families safe. Planning ahead can make all of the difference in an emergency. Make your plan. Visit redcross.org today.
Good afternoon again, Cleveland County. We are here in Cooperative Extension's kitchen with Delores Lockhart.
Yes.
Delores works at the Hub, which is a restaurant in medical arts. I think this is one of the best kept secrets in Cleveland County. Delores, the Hub has been going for, what, did you say 50 years?
At least. I've been there 30 years. So
30 years.
It's been there way before I came there. So it's been probably about 50-something years.
Well, this is your cook at the Hub, the chef, I'm sorry. And today we're highlighting the egg, as you well know, and we have several dishes that Delores will be cooking today. The first will be an omelet, and I believe it's a ham and veggie omelet with some cheese.
So a baked ham.
Okay.
Omelet.
And what we're using today are the eggs that were given to us by Double E Poultry, I'm sorry. Ellen Ashe and her husband produced all these eggs along with their chickens. So let's get started.
Okay, first off, I'm going to crack 3 eggs in a bowl. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
And we've already turned our pan on, is that correct?
Yes, it's on. You can put it on like medium to high. not too high. And I whisk my eggs. And I'll add just a pinch of salt and pepper. Not too much. And then I'll pour my mixture in the pan. Okay. And swirl it around so it can get all over the pan. There we go.
And about what temperature do you have that on right now?
It's on like medium high.
Okay.
Not too.
Okay.
Not too high. And when it cooks up a little bit, and then I will add my ingredients, the baked ham and the onions and the peppers and the cheese. I will put this on here and flip it over to make an omelet.
Okay.
And hopefully it'll turn out wonderful.
Okay, well, I'm sure it will. Besides doing an omelet, we'll be doing deviled eggs today. We'll be making an egg salad, and then as a finale, Delores has already made, but we'll show you how to make her famous egg custard.
Yes.
Do you serve that at the restaurant, the egg custard?
Well, I have in the past, but it's got to be where, it's a lot to do to make for all the customers that come in, so I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do it quite often.
Well, now, with all of this, you may get some requests for
Definitely.
egg custard.
Definitely.
So you're cooking the bottom here.
Right. And when you see it coming up out the pan just a little bit, you go ahead and add your ingredients to it.
Okay.
Okay. Just put them on like one side.
So if you can't see, it's still fairly liquid on top.
Right.
But of course, we know it's already cooked on the bottom.
And the time I flip it, it's all going to come together. And then I just put like one piece of cheese on the other side. I'm not going to put a lot of cheese. I'm going to put some on the outside too.
Okay. Oh, sure. So it really be a veggie, ham, and egg omelet.
Yes. Okay. Now, time to flip. I love this pan, but it doesn't love me. Spatula? Have another spatula
right here. Right here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. As Delores pointed out before we started cooking, this is a non-stick pan.
Yes.
You did add just a little bit of oil.
Granola oil. I use granola oil in everything because people watch what they eat now.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'd say probably about another 5 to 10 minutes. Once I flip it over again, it'll be ready.
Okay. Well, then I think we can probably start, as long as it's cooking right there, I think we could probably do our deviled eggs.
Yes.
Okay.
That right there.
I can take this.
And this is going to be the half deviled eggs. And in here, I put a little bit of salt and pepper.
Now, how we got to this stage, she boiled 8 eggs, I believe, and then, made them hard-boiled. She peeled them, and then she scooped out the yellow part of the egg, and we've crushed it up.
Yes, just mash it up until it all comes together. And I only put like maybe a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper, and maybe about a half a teaspoon. I got a tablespoon, but just put maybe about half, just a little bit, not very much, because you don't want to take the taste away from the egg.
Right. Now, I believe we also saved one hard-boiled egg so that the viewers could see how you cut open the egg.
Yes. There we go. And I just put this in here.
Scoop it out.
You can do it at home better, so you know. I'm just all thumbs right now, but when you're at home, you can do it a lot better.
So there's nothing to it.
Nothing to it at all.
Hard-boiled egg.
And you just take your spoon or your fork. Normally I use a fork, but I got a spoon right now, but it works just the same. And after this, I add maybe about a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise, just regular mayonnaise. If you want to use low look out for your health or whatever, you can use that. But you don't need very much.
It's mainly just enough to stick the yellow together.
Exactly.
And so actually you've added sweet pickle relish, but you can probably add anything you want.
Whatever you want to add to it. If you want to add a little mustard, and also put a little tad of vinegar.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that as soon as I stir this up. Okay. Thank you. And you don't need very much vinegar at all.
Well, I'm not very good at that. Okay.
And you certainly don't need much mustard either. Maybe about a half a teaspoon of each, maybe, depending on how much you're making.
So the consistency, it's well,
creamy.
gooey, I guess we could say.
Not too creamy and not too stiff. And that should be it.
Okay.
Right there. And I'm going to take my omelet out. I think it's ready. And it slides right out.
Perfect.
Okay, it's kind of hot.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it's kind of hot. Let's put it back here.
It is hot.
Once you get burnt. Okay. Done with that for now. And I'm going to just take a spoon and just put the filling in the eggs. And this is for my...
That's for the egg salad.
Yes,
so we can
I'll
do
put that right there.
Okay. So we can just probably fill 2 of these, and then we'll move on to the egg salad. Okay.
That's all you do.
Okay.
All right.
Good job. All right. And I can take these, put them right over here.
Okay. And now this is the egg custard.
Egg custard. That's correct.
Wow. That was
I've got
fast.
your recipe right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Now this is a no crust. It makes its own crust, so you don't have to do all the trouble of making a crust. But then again, you can buy your own crust, but this makes its own crust. And it calls for 8 eggs. And these are some beautiful eggs.
Well, it was such fun. Of course, you've all seen the picture of, or the clip of Ellen and all of her 100 happy chickens.
Yes.
And Delores, I haven't shared this with you, but according to Ellen, happy chickens make happy eggs. So you're looking at some happy eggs right here.
That is a true statement. And I love Ellen. 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to take the rest of it.
7 and 8 eggs. Okay.
That's it. Right. Okay. And did I have another fork? Did
I don't. Yes, you did at one point.
Wash that knife for me.
Oh, yeah,
if you don't
certainly.
mind. And that'll do it. And this will be the last one. Thank you very much. And I'm done with that.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. And now what I do, I put the sugar. Now, when you read the recipe from on the internet, the way I do mine, I do the sugar and the eggs together at the same time.
Oh, and you don't mix the eggs, you add the sugar and then mix the eggs.
Yes, and then I mix the ingredient together. But it calls for 8 eggs and like a cup and a half of sugar.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
And then I'm going to mix it. Whisk.
The whisk is right here.
There we go.
Let me rinse that off.
Thank you very much. I can't get over how rich these eggs are.
Well, Ellen said to notice in her eggs how yellow the yolks are.
Yes.
And we're certainly seeing that.
Good richness.
Again, the happy chickens that are able to be free range and run around and
okay.
Pretty eggs.
And now, next I will be I had, you're supposed to put vanilla flavor, but by chance I forgot it, but I already have one that has the vanilla flavor in it already.
Okay.
So I'm doing the milk, and it's 1.5 cups of milk.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Stir.
Now, in preparation for this, this is the pan that we'll be cooking the egg custard in. And Delores melted the butter first. And how much butter was that?
I use a stick and a half a stick.
Okay.
One, stick and a half a stick.
Stick and a half of butter. So that's
well,
already...
it's one and 1/4 stick of butter.
Okay.
And I melt it. I put it in the oven and go ahead and melt it. And then when I use part of it to go in here, and then the excess butter that's in the pan, that's what's going to be the coating of the pan.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So-
sure.
I won't have to grease or anything like that anymore.
Right.
Stir that up a little bit.
Now, this recipe, along with all the other recipes that Delores makes today, will be out on the website. That's clevelandcountykitchen.org. So if you want, and of course that's where all of Nancy Abassier-Kong's information with the nutrition and all the other recipes that she has also combined and compiled.
Now you put like 6 tablespoons of flour. So I got everything measured out already.
That's good.
So you put that in there and you stir it up very well, because you don't want to have any lumps and humps in there.
Okay. That's why I can see why a whisk would be so good to be
Exactly.
able to mix this up.
And I would suggest you to, don't use a mixer, because you can over mix it.
Oh.
So a whisk is a lot better.
Very good.
If you don't have a whisk, you can always use a fork, but you're going to do a lot of stirring.
Right.
And then that's pretty much it. And you just put everything back into the pan.
Okay. Which, as you remember, is already greased because that's where she melted the butter.
And you need like a 9 by 13 inch pan.
Okay.
Because it's going to rise, and then once you take it out of the oven, it kind of flattens. I got the finished product so I can let you see.
Right.
So that's about it in that. So you want me to just show the finishing product?
If you'll pull out the other in the oven.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is the finishing product.
Okay. Oh my, how beautiful that looks.
So it makes its own crust under there, and it's rich, but it's a good kind of rich.
It's the eating kind of rich.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Well, Delores, thank you so much for this.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And Cleveland County, I just hope you try some of these recipes. Remember, the egg is so nutritious. It's just a high source of protein, but it makes all sorts of wonderful products.
Yes. And if you want to taste any of my products, you're welcome to come to the hub in the back of the Lockhart drugstore. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, too, Delores.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for watching.